Hey everybody, welcome to this week's viewer questions. Hope you had a good week. By the way, I don't mention this often, but this video, I put it up on two YouTube channels. If you're watching it on youtube.com/LeeCamp and the number 2, LeeCamp2, then you get it 2 days earlier from youtube.com/Redacted Tonight. So if you're watching this on the Redacted Tonight channel, you should also subscribe to LeeCamp2. That's another channel. And the reason I do it like that is because we have the full episode of Redacted Tonight coming out on the Redacted Tonight channel, so I don't want to dump it all at once. And the reason I have a secondary channel is because we assume, YouTube already suppresses us heavily, so we assume we easily could be taken down at any moment. So basically, if they were to remove the Redacted Tonight channel, I would still have another channel going. So if you are on the Redacted Tonight channel, please subscribe to youtube.com/LeeCamp2, and that would allow us to keep chatting in the future after our suppression gets more extreme and they delete our channel. But anyway, let's get on with it. Some good questions coming up in a minute. I also wanted to, before I get to that, I wanted to talk about how one of the core claims of the Russiagate drama, the Mueller Report, one of the core claims, has now been further delegitimized by a federal court judge. So I'm going to try and explain this quickly, and I may be covering it on Redacted Tonight next week. I don't know yet, but okay, there's two main claims of the Mueller Report. One is that the Russian government hacked into the DNC servers and released Hillary Clinton's emails showing her true corruption, which, whatever. Totally revealed that that the Clinton campaign was a corrupt campaign, connected to the media, connected to election fraud, really, in my opinion. But beyond that, the other claim, the core claim of the Mueller Report, because keep in mind, the Mueller Report said there was no collusion between Trump and the Russians, but that the Russians did rig the election. And there are two ways they did that. One was releasing the Clinton campaign Podesta emails. The other, and they haven't proved actually that the Russians did that, but that's a different time. We'll get into that some other time. I've covered it before. But the other claim, the other core claim, was about these Facebook ads, which I have torn apart limb from limb. No one really saw. Most of them, 56%, were after the election. But beyond that, Mueller says there's only it was one internet agency, right, called the Internet Research Agency in Russia, that put up these ads that influenced the election. And Mueller then indicted, I think, 14 people at this Russian internet agency clickbait farm. Many of them hadn't worked there since 2 years before the election. I mean, it was totally absurd on its face. In the Mueller Report, he acts like the Internet Research Agency is working on behalf of the Russian government. But this federal court now said you don't prove that in any way. You act like these two are interchangeable, Internet Research Agency, Russian government, but there's no proof of any connection between the two. And so this federal court basically just said to the Mueller team that you've indicted these people for doing something on behalf of the Russian government, but have provided no proof that they did something on behalf of the Russian government. Anyway, I'm gonna try and go through more of that in Redacted Tonight. I hope I have the time. Obviously, there's a ton going on in the world, so that's why I'm glad I have this time to chat with you and throw in some extra material, because it is too much to cover it all. But this is just another step in how this whole thing has collapsed on every level. And your mainstream media won't mention that, right? So they'll run around. It's very similar to WMD. They'll run around going, there's WMD, there's WMD, there's WMD. Oh my God, we got to invade Iraq. And then we go into Iraq. And for years afterwards, they were kind of like, let's not talk about the fact that there was no WMD. There'd be an article here, an article there, but it wasn't this 24/7 drumbeat. Oh my God, there were no WMD. What the fuck were we thinking? You don't get that kind of coverage. You just get a little piece here and there. So anyway, they're not covering this, but hopefully I can show you more of the federal court's decision on that. It's so amazing to watch this all unravel as we, those of us with a functional brainstem kind of knew it would. But it's kind of amazing to see it all happen in real time, that we are in the middle of just this blatant neo-McCarthyism. Just let's be afraid of the other people. Oh my goodness, they're scary. Bullshit, rather than actually pointing the finger at the fucking rich as hell elites that are actually destroying your lives, that are actually extracting the wealth out and making it so tough for you to have a regular life. Most people are not trying to get that much. Most people are just trying to have a day-to-day where they aren't wondering where their next dollar's going to come from to fix their car or something, where they aren't wondering whether you got to buy the unhealthy version of the food because that's a lot cheaper and you only have $3. You don't have the 12 for the organic free-range happy time food. So, Americans realize they're having these difficulties, and our quote-unquote leaders, our politicians, have to find a way to make sure you're not pointing the finger at them and going, what the fuck are you actually doing to fix this? What the fuck are you actually doing to regulate this, to stop this from destroying our lives? So you don't point the finger at them, so they had to go, look over here. It's Russia. It's definitely Russia or Iran or North Korea. No, let me... They take America's hand and they go, there we go. Yeah, right over there. Another quick news story before I get to a couple of questions is just these ICE raids that Trump keeps threatening, and it seems like it may be happening. These, thousands of ICE raids across the country, and many of them are already happening. But I just wanted to let you know about that story. Be aware. If there's any way to help protect neighbors or friends, I just wanted you to know that's going on. And many people who are connected to the immigrant community or maybe an immigrant themselves, they talk about this as basically just an extended emotional terrorism. It is saying to almost every immigrant in this country, hey, we may send, black-booted thugs into your house at any moment. And they may, even if you aren't on the deportation list, they may just come into your house and decide, you know what, that paperwork doesn't look quite legit enough for us. That paperwork doesn't look quite good enough. Maybe, tell us more about your uncle. Why is he here? Like, it's just destroying people's lives. They have to live under constant terror. I mean, this was exactly how Nazi Germany worked, right? Before it became, all-out war and Holocaust and extermination. It was, don't worry, we're just going to come in and see if your papers are correct. So that's why we have to stand up against this endless emotional terrorism. And unlike most people who will talk about this issue, I'm not saying it's only Donald Trump. This is an ongoing issue in our country. Obama deported, not only did Obama deport more, let's be clear, the president doesn't do everything, but more were deported under Obama than any president in history. Furthermore, Obama was actually beating Trump's number of deportations. Like the record number of deportations so far has not been under Trump. Now, obviously, there are ways that it's getting worse. I'm not saying it's not, and rhetoric matters. So the fact that we are talking about it in a more racist, cruel terminology is also definitely a step in the wrong direction. But okay, I just wanted to bring that story to your attention. Let's get to a few questions here, or statements. This one is just a statement from SFX. Donald Trump's speech is what happens when you don't replace lead water pipes. That's a great point. Donald Trump is not doing anything to fix our infrastructure, meanwhile dumping more billions, trillions into the military. And if he had fixed those lead pipes, he might have complete sentences. So that's a good point. I like how you connected our infrastructure with Donald Trump's speech. So this one is from Alejandro. He says, wait, the DNC servers were destroyed? How is that legal? The DNC makes an accusation of hacking, but they destroy the evidence? And yes, this is another story that I have tried to bring up many times because you won't get it on your mainstream media. You won't even get it in a lot of alternative media. But Donna Brazile very clearly said, and maybe I'll try and connect all these dots maybe on an upcoming Redacted about the Mueller report and the servers and the recent federal judge, what she or he said. But the servers that they claim were hacked, the FBI never saw them. Never saw them. They were supposedly given to a private company hired by the DNC. So the DNC is paying hundreds of thousands, millions, I don't know how much they pay, but it's at least hundreds of thousands, to this company called CrowdStrike to analyze these servers and tell us what happened. Now, do you think CrowdStrike maybe has an incentive to tell the DNC what they want to hear? To not tell them that this was a leak from the inside? So who knows what went on between the DNC and CrowdStrike, what their conversations were, their private conversations. But the DNC servers were never seen by the FBI. They were destroyed, as Donna Brazile, former head of the DNC, has told us. And a replica, they claim, was made and given to the FBI. Now think about that for a minute. A massive crime has been committed. A crime that has national implications. So what's step one? Destroy the evidence. That's what we do first. We fucking get rid of the evidence. Could you imagine any individual citizen doing that? Like, oh my God, someone robbed my house. Okay, first I'll burn down the house and then I'm calling the cops and tell them, oh my God, there's been a murder committed here. Okay, first I'm going to chop up the body and dump it in the ocean. Then I'm calling the cops. I'm going to tell them to find out what happened to my husband. After I chop up the body, throw it in the ocean. No, it makes no sense. And furthermore, we just found out a couple of weeks ago, thanks to court documents, that CrowdStrike never even gave an unredacted final forensic report of the servers to the FBI. The FBI never saw shit. They got a redacted, CrowdStrike is a private company. Why are they allowed to redact the forensic report for the FBI? So basically no investigation, no legit investigation was done into this supposed hacking. All right, let's, I know I mentioned some of that before, but there's certain things that make me fucking furious, and then, so they get yelled about a lot, and then if they make me furious and they're not mentioned in all of the other media or almost all of it, then they get yelled about a lot. Oh, a lot. Because it's like one thing if I'm yelling about them, but other people are yelling about them. It's like, okay, we got a team going. But if it's just, me and Jimmy Dore, then it's not enough people fucking yelling about it. All right. Arnold Trogman says Andrew Yang, and many of you may know who Andrew Yang was. He's running for president. He's a businessman. I can't remember, multi-millionaire, whatever he has. And he's the only one who has made a central plank of his campaign for president universal basic income. So there's some arguments as to why he wants universal basic income. Some people believe he just wants to get rid of social safety nets. I'll let them debate that. I think universal basic income has a lot of promise as a baby step towards a better civilization. It's the idea that every adult in our society would get $1,000 a month or something to help them make ends meet. And it's basically a way of allowing the capitalist machine to continue when it's gotten to the point that it has churned up and destroyed so many people that they can't get by and they can't buy things, they can't purchase things to keep the fucking machine going. So you give out money so that things can kind of keep going. So in a way, it's a manner of making sure this machine can keep churning through our world. But on the other hand, it also would help a lot of people. A lot of people would benefit from it. So it's tough to stand in the way and say, no, I want people to be churned up so that we can show everyone else that people are being churned up. I want their lives destroyed so that I can point to them and say, look how their lives are destroyed. It's tough to really stand up for that. Anyway, Andrew Yang mentioned in the Democratic debate, I'm going to start reading again. Andrew Yang mentioned Russia hacking into our democracy as a big threat during the debates. Why do you overlook that? And Arnold seems to not like me much. Why does his stupid Russian fear-mongering remarks get a pass? They don't get a pass. I just can't cover everything. Yeah, Andrew Yang's being a fucking dipshit. And I don't even think I've mentioned Andrew Yang on my show. I mean, maybe I did once, but I haven't been that into Andrew Yang because, I like universal basic income, but Andrew Yang is just a regular capitalist businessman as far as I can tell. I haven't seen that much that's wonderful about him, so I'm not going to jump up and down and wave the flag. But I like universal basic income, probably a good idea. He's fed into the Russian fear-mongering, McCarthyite bullshit. Yeah, a lot of them have. Bernie has tweeted about it. Let's see. Who else? De Blasio said Russia's the greatest threat in the world, which, what the fuck are you talking about? While the others were saying things like climate change, and he's like, Russia. It's idiocy. I mean, and I don't know, for people like Andrew Yang, I don't know if it's that they just buy into what NPR told them. Hey, the Atlantic Council and NPR said that Russia's bad, so Russia bad. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if he's playing a political game and he's like, oh, the mainstream media will like me more if I say it's all Russia's fault, which is very true. If you want to get more interviews on MSNBC and CNN, you just run around with a anti-Russian fucking flag, anti-fuck North Korea. Look at them starve from our economic sanctions. Woo! Then you get interviews on MSNBC. That's all you got to do. If you have like a T-shirt of like a North Korean, poor person starving to death because of our economic war, or maybe a Venezuelan like baby, just like dying because it can't get medication because of our economic war on them, then MSNBC's like, right this way. We'd like to put you on TV to talk about how wonderful our economic war is and how great it is that we're destroying these lives. So maybe Andrew Yang's playing that game. Maybe he's trying to get a little more press. I don't know. But I didn't give him a pass. There's fucking 800 people running for president. I think I'm going to sit here and detail everyone. Number one, fucking Klobuchar. Number two, Swalwell. No, fuck them. I'm not part of the problem is that we spend 2 years acting like, oh, shiny toys. Look at all the debates. Look at all the candidates running. Ooh. That's part of the problem. And so I try to avoid that. I do analyze some of the statements that they make so that we can talk about these ideas. But if you're sitting there basing your day-to-day on everything every candidate has said for president 3 years from now, then I think you already got it wrong. You've already lost. Oh, I forgot to say, here are the winners. I forgot to say I was going to announce 2 more winners for my stand-up comedy special. Liz Mednick and Carrie Mark. You can get your free downloads by emailing leecampledger@protonmail.com. Also, I'm coming into London, England, Minneapolis, Madison, Wisconsin. There's more. Can't remember. Washington, D.C., of course. And all of that is at leecamp.com/schedule. And you can vote for your own city to be added. So if you want me to come to your city to perform live, go to leecamp.com/schedule, click the schedule tab, and it's all right there. If you're ever in Washington, D.C., it's free to attend Redacted tonight, so I hope you'll do that. And that sign up is also at leecamp.com. Click the schedule tab. All right, everybody, keep fighting.